Oh man, this might be the scene all around America very soon. It's B-Barb! And he's coming to probe you, not in a way that you like, because of course what you just saw is a fake AI video. As there's a lot of fake news, specifically around the 30i Atlas comet or spaceship or intelligence alien craft. As of course we keep getting stranger and stranger, wilder videos. Some of it fake, some of it just artificially generated through artificial intelligence, while others is legitimately concerning, as there are some very serious conversations happening right now about mysterious underwater UFOs spotted off of the U.S. coast, as even the New York Post is talking about how there have been thousands of these sightings all around the United States, which coincides with some of the things that we've been hearing about those New Jersey drones, all of this, as of course we have mainline scientists now coming out and saying, hey, yeah, this thing, 30i 3 Atlas, is acting very strange and very weird, especially when it comes to the crazy scenario that all of us are now being inundated with, as Joe Rogan has called this the ever so perfect type of psyop here, as now we have multiple scientists coming forward and saying some very interesting things. We're going to be playing those interesting things on this particular video, as there's a lot to get into, specifically when it comes to aliens, UFOs, and of course outside of this existence, entities that are out there in one way or another. What are they? We're going to do our best to try to answer that question. And if you appreciate these type of videos, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Now, it's pretty wild to be having these conversations. Of course, for many years, I remember being in this alternative media space for about 21 plus years now. And I was saying, hey, there's something else out there that the government doesn't want you to see. Is now the government has been making efforts to be like, hey, you guys see this? And I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. Hold on, wait. Maybe it's a psyop within a psyop. I don't know. As some people are now reporting this green orb spotted over Moscow. As some people are saying it's a meteorite. Now, Russia also did test out, allegedly, a new invisible nuclear weapon. I don't know if this was a part of the test, but they're also working on a lot of space tech. They do have space weapons, and they have gravity weapons that they have in the atmosphere that could explain some of the kind of phenomenon that the governments are always like, oh, we don't know what this is. And I'm like, they know. And whatever reports are coming in, we have to understand that right now, in the next 2 days, 30i Atlas will actually be officially making its way behind the sun. Now, will it be passing and buzzing by Earth? Not really. Here it is, right here in this chart here, showing you that this will be behind the sun. This is allegedly today. But it comes out of the sun. Some scientists are saying it's going to be out on the 29th of October, right? It already buzzed past Mars very closely. Like, if it's going to make contact with anything or do anything, it would probably would be with Mars here. And then you see it kind of move away from the sun. It kind of keeps its trajectory. Earth is kind of coming close. And then it's not that close, to be quite honest and frank with you, when we look at how we are going to be now getting new satellite images and photographs of what some people are describing as allegedly an alien craft. Now, the still overwhelming consensus is that, yes, this thing's strange. It's showing some weird anomalies, but still, vast majority of the scientific community believes that it is just a comet that has entered our solar system in a very kind of strange, weird way. We have Michio Kaku coming out. He's a professor studying and looking a lot of this, and he says this is going to be the number one kind of indicator to see if this is an alien craft or not.
whizzing around our sun. And if it picks up extra energy on its flyby, that would clinch it. That means there's extraterrestrial intelligence involved. So watch for it. On October 30th, starting then, we're going to track it to see whether it gets an extra boost of energy. If so, it means we are being visited.
Oh,
That's right.
Look at that. Whoa! You got nothing better to say? Anyway,
And
sorry.
as it goes around the sun, there's something called the Oberth effect. The Oberth effect says that if you were to whip around the sun, you would pick up extra energy in the process. So we're going to watch for it. The energy in must equal the energy out, according to the ordinary theory. But if that's not true, if there's more energy going out than in, it means that there's energy boost coming from whipping around the sun, and that requires intelligence.
Now, will that happen here? Well, obviously, everyone's going to be paying very close attention to it. I'm going to be paying close connection to it as well. As there's already some people reporting, the sun has already changed the behavior. There's no such type of recordings, and it looks like it's fake news here, correlated with the natural 11-year cycle that people are saying, no, the solar flare activity, it's at its peak because of this 30i atlas. Well, no, that's not true here at all. Now, there's other people giving their kind of renderings here. A lot of people say that this looks like a piece of corn. Some people are saying it looks like a spaceship. And a lot of people are saying, hey, aliens, if they do come down, they're in for an ish show, as there's probably going to be a bunch of people that are going to be like, yeah, the aliens are here, but the grocery bills are still high. The Epstein list is still not released, as skepticism is now everyone's kind of best friend. And that, of course, is something that we are happy about. And we'll tell you why in a little bit, before playing more clips, before playing the Joe Rogan clip, before playing the kind of Anna Paulina Luna talking about these kind of like underwater alleged space stations. Before talking about that and a lot more, we wanted to tell you about wearechanged.shop. We got a lot of great supplements available to you. We have CBD, we have teas. Our first supplement was, of course, ashwagandha. Why? Because it personally helped me a lot. When I first, in my like early to mid 30s, I kind of realized, oh man, my system doesn't work as it used to. It's kind of not doing that well because of the kind of horrible stimuli that I keep feeding it. And I used to travel nonstop, and I didn't really used to eat clean. I didn't really prioritize exercise. And I'm like, what am I doing? I got to get back into a happier, awesome shape. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to start looking into what should I take to help me do that as a little cheat sheet. And ashwagandha was the first thing that popped up that a lot of people recommended. I started taking, and it helped me exercise. It helped me get some good deep sleep. I just typed in ashwagandha into Twitter, and this is what people are saying. People are saying that it helps with adrenal strength, as it helps people, quote, minimize adrenal surges that feed, quote, pathogens, help rivers produce, the liver produce and store dozens of hormones, protects liver from excess adrenal exposure. This lady says, ashwagandha has helped me in so many ways I can't even explain. Yeah, my friend, who was a woman, it was just prescribed ashwagandha by her doctor, and it helped her out a lot. And again, a lot of people usually like to take it around bedtime. For better sleep, for better stress relief here. I really have seen differences, but I do not recommend people take it more than 1 month out of the year. That's what Andrew Huberman recommends. Medical doctors recommend 3 months out of the year. I just recommend an overabundance of caution. As people are saying, it does a lot for you, especially when it comes to sharpening your focus. Helps you normalize your hormone levels. Lots of people's hormone levels are pretty awful. Helps you with sleep. A lot of people use it wrong. Make sure you use it right. So do your own homework before putting anything into your own body. Wearechange.shop is where you can go and support this independent media network before B-Borp shows up and tries to, if you know what I mean. Anyway, let's continue on here. I think this meme perfectly represents everything that's going on here, saying, when are we invading? We're not. This is an issue. Yeah. As right now, we have Avi Loeb, who originally came out and kind of staked his reputation on all of this, coming out saying now there's a 40% chance that 30i Atlas is, quote, alien tech.
Do you believe that this is something more than just a comet?
Yeah, in fact, a few months ago, I defined a scale where 0 is a natural object, 10 is a technological object that could be a threat to humanity. You know, it's a blind date where on the other side, we may have a serial killer. We just don't know. And I gave it
Yeah, that sounds nice.
a 40% chance based on 8 anomalies that it shows of being technological. And of course, if we get more data and it looks like a comet, a natural object, then I would revise my ranking. But it will never go below 2 out of 10 because we know the trajectory is aligned with the planets. And, you know, the chance for that happening at random is really small.
So we're going to be watching to see if this thing makes...
Now, random stuff does happen, right? But a lot of people are saying there's so many anomalies, there's so many weird things about this.
Makes any sudden moves over the next number of weeks. Dr.
Avi Loeb was like, hey, take your vacation before this thing shows up. Now, that's a little bit of an extreme. He was joking, but a lot of people took that seriously.
Avi Loeb, we're going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, hopefully. So Joe Rogan had some very interesting comments about this, saying this is like almost the perfect psyop here, as that's what I'm kind of thinking too.
Dude, this is real. I am not comfortable with this Comet Atlas.
I know.
And I, like, you know,
We've got Avi Loeb coming on to talk about it.
He's amazing. I had him on my podcast a long time ago. He put up with my ass.
A lot of people in the beginning were saying that it's bullshit. It's a comet. Why is he saying this? He's risking his reputation. But then as time's going on, they're going, well, this is weird. This thing's really weird.
Well, it's okay. First of all, it's important to note that one thing that titillates my dumbass is it just so happens the government shutdown coincides with when we could use the satellites on Mars to get pictures of that fucking thing. So we're not getting pictures. They did release a picture of it yesterday.
Wait a minute. The government shutdown is stopping us from getting pictures of this thing?
Yes.
That's insane.
That's insane. Now
that's so insane. They should...
You know, there's like probably a whole bunch of like secret government agents that are like, okay, let's take more photos. let's not release it to the general public. Which I'm infuriated about. And because we live in a government era where everything's classified, everything's secret, everything's like, you can't talk about this. And I'm like, oh, I'm paying you and you're providing me a crappy service. I want a good service. I want to make sure that when I spend my money and I give it to you, government, you actually tell me what you do with my money. You know, they're snapping a whole bunch of photos of these things and not sharing it with the general public. And probably there's like a criminal element, a sinister element, and just a nefarious or incompetent element, either or. I think that all perfectly encompasses and explains government.
Open that up.
I mean, it seems like that's really weird. Did you see the images that just came in, though? The Europeans got an image of it. And
it's weird looking.
It's weird looking, but I don't know what a comet looks like. So
I don't know what a comet looks like, and I don't know why it's weirder than other comets.
But it does seem like it's going, it's like rolling in a weird way, but it's the gas, right? It's like it's what it's releasing is the weird part.
Well, the weird part is coming from the same part of the universe where the wow signal came from.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird.
That's fucking weird, dude.
That's weird. Because that wow signal, what was it, like 70 seconds long? Some very strange coded signal that was 70 seconds long.
You know what else is weird is Jeremy Corbell said a bunch of people are going to start saying there's a mothership coming to Earth and don't believe him. Remember he was saying that?
Yeah, what's that all about? Why did he know that?
I don't know.
You got to tell people why you know something like that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of strange, wild stuff going on here. How do you explain it? Is it in the ether? Is it in the human conscious? Is it something else that perfectly kind of describes and dictates everything that we're dealing with and unfolding with right now?
You can't just say that.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like, how do you know? How do you know that it's not really a mothership? How do you know they're going to say it's a mothership?
Well, Corbell, he's got to do this tightrope walk because somehow he does have inside contacts, but if he says too much, he puts his whole life in danger.
It's such a spy TV show. Dude, so much of it seems like a spy TV show. So much of it seems like a well-written psyop.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like almost perfect when it comes to it being described to you the way it is here. Now, we have the topic of interdimensional beings, which a lot of people believe are the ones that are underneath our oceans and off of the coast of the United States. As we have a lot of wild, crazy type of articles. This one from the New York Post definitely is captivating a lot of people's attention. It came out yesterday, and it talks about how a UFO tracker shows thousands of eerie underwater objects lurking around U.S. coast. Now, there's multiple people in the Navy, in the U.S. military, that are coming out and saying, yeah, there's these mysterious type of
Saw some interesting stuff.
football long type of craft that propel and move underwater at least 200 miles an hour. What is that? That's of course, like modern ships aren't that fast on water. 200 miles an hour underneath water, as we heard Congressman Tim Burchett talk about this. We heard William Cooper in Behold the Pale Horse before he lost his life right after the events that happened in New York City in 2001, which he predicted, by the way, before anybody else. He came out in his book and he talked about, football field along type of objects in and out of the ocean, moving at extremely fast speeds. And now people are saying, well, a lot of this underwater craft is being all reported all around the east coast of the United States, which collaborates and coincides with what government officials were talking about last year around this same time of drones that were flying all over New Jersey. Now, there's some people are saying, no, this was a contractor. I don't buy that at all. Okay? People are like, oh, look, no, it's a car-sized drone. They're the ones that set off this hysteria. This is not the same drone that went in and out of water that New Jersey residents, police officers, mayors came out and said, yeah, no, there's weird, strange stuff that is just out of this world type of stuff here. As a lot of people believe, listen, Tim Burchett talked about this, Tucker Carlson talked about this, an interdimensional species that has collaborations with the U.S. government, as Congressman Anna Paulina Luna, who is committee of a lot of head of the committee to disclose a lot of this stuff, is talking about, I can't even talk about what I had in the skiff, which is kind of a private meeting where they're not allowed to kind of talk about what they found.
Stuff. And so what I will tell you is that footage, the fact that it was dead drop to Burleson, I'm certain that there's more of where that comes from. And we are going to push for the declassification of stuff that we've seen, because I think the American people deserve to see it. But I think, you're never going to have the U.S. government admit or try to explain something if it's also somewhat not specifically pertaining to national defense. So if it's not tech that we've made not involving a foreign government, I think that you're going to see a direct statement from that. What's interesting, and I kind of went into this with Joe Rogan, is when we were talking to some of the witnesses, they don't call them extraterrestrial. They call them interdimensional. There's also this aspect of these things defying physics as we know it. And then you look into texts that were removed from the Bible, like the Book of Enoch, that actually specifically address technologies, if you will, that were given to mankind or of entities not of human origin, non-human intelligence. And
a lot of people believe that this is a new kind of creature, a new type of species that lives amongst us, and it's interdimensional. So it's in one dimension, another dimension, and it could move and propel from different dimensions, but predominantly comes from inside of the Earth in the oceans. That lives with us. Allegedly, this is the same group that prevents nuclear war. Allegedly. That's what some people are saying. And it would make sense that if there's another kind of cohabitating life force or life living amongst us, that they're like, yeah, stop blowing each other up. This is stupid. Okay? Now, according to Tucker Carlson, these interdimensional beings have a deal with the U.S. government. Do they? What's the deal?
So these are all things to consider when addressing the topic, but based on what I've seen, not speculating, based on the evidence that I've seen, there's something out there. And based on what I'm saying is it's not. I think that it's along the lines of that video that you just saw.
Have they shown you? Okay, so
I have to be careful because I could get in trouble if I divulge what I've been shown in a skiff. So what I can tell you is I'm just telling you as me, not specifically addressing skiff stuff, that they're real. And I'm not the only one. You just saw the Secretary of State in a documentary addressing the same thing.
Yeah, Marco Rubio talking about, oh yeah, there's these things flying over nuclear facilities. We reported on that. Originally, last year, when Donald Trump first came into office, he had the meeting with the governors, and the governor's like, yeah, there's these like weird, the governor of Louisiana, like these weird things just like, are over our nuclear sites. Yeah, nothing to see here. Let's just try to shoot it down with Tomahawk missiles. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, interesting. What do you think of this is? Do you think this is a psyop? Do you think it's legit? Do you think there's interdimensional beings? What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for supporting me and this independent media organization. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you going out there, doing your own research on ashwagandha, seeing if it's right for you, and then buying it from wearechange.shop. And because you do, this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.